Hello, my name is Jason Ross, and I want to talk today about how the Friends of the Highlanders Foundation is near and dear to my heart. Years ago, I have worked over several years with different storms. I've worked with the hurricane in 2015, Hurricane Joaquin, Hurricane Matthew, Florence, and I've seen the devastation that it can cause to our state. However, I also see where a lot of municipalities are underfunded and paid, and they don't have enough support to be able to get the manpower they need to help out in these disasters. So, being able to come up with an opportunity such as the Friends of the Highlanders Foundation to be able to raise the money and the funds to help get the equipment to be a force multiplier and to help out all these agencies, and also to create the Highlanders Disaster Task Force is huge to be able to attach and volunteer and help out a lot of these agencies, such as the Landrum Fire Department, the Tigerville Fire Department, different local emergency operation counties as well, and managers. And that's why we're here. This is what this is here for, is to be able to help fund it. And then also to link up and get the volunteers needed to help out whenever there is trouble.
I'm Mike Burns, and I represent District 17 in the South Carolina House. And we want to speak a little bit about disaster recovery help in our state. I remember a few years ago we had the mountains on fire and brought people in from literally all over the country to help put the fire out in the mountains at our state line. And it was a massive effort. And then since then, we had a tornado touchdown right at the Greenville-Pickens County line. And we had to bring in every available body to help with that disaster. And it wasn't just emergency responders that came in. There were private citizens who brought their bulldozers and heavy equipment in to clear the way so the emergency responders could get to people and help open the roads back up, help get relief, help rescue people. And that's the subject we're talking about today with the Highlanders, adding support to our special purpose districts, our fire departments, staff as they come in with both equipment and people to augment and speed up the recovery process. And our state is very thankful for this with the General Assembly, that people and organizations will reach out and help in times of need, in times of trouble. And it offsets a lot of the cost that a regular fire department, who can't handle the cost without raising people's taxes beyond what they're able to pay. And so these organizations like the Highlanders, who can come in, bring in massive amounts of equipment that are sitting ready for disaster, and bring in a team to help, and already trained firefighters and emergency responders. But the good thing about it is the Highlanders also have been trained by our state through the state fire association. And so they're safely working across the emergency responders, working together to try to offer relief to the public when these disasters come. And I'm really thankful for them and for what they do. And I hope when you see some of these folks, our regular emergency responders and the Highlanders, you'll thank them for their effort and their financial support to try to help you, the public, us, the public, when we have a need like we have from time to time.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ashley Trantham, and I represent District 28, the southern part of Greenville County. A lot of you may not realize this, but before I started serving in the State House, actually 25 years ago, I worked with the Emergency Preparedness Department in Spartanburg County. So part of my job was to look at contingency plans and come up with ways that we could be on the scene, be active, and start working immediately if there was some type of catastrophe or an emergency, whether that was man-made or natural. So when I started looking at what the Highlanders were doing, I knew immediately that it was something that was not only much needed, but it was something that would be a great support system for all of the different agencies that do arrive on the scene when there is an emergency. It doesn't matter how much planning or how well your contingency plan is written, there's always going to be things that you didn't expect. And I can tell you, if you are on the other side of that emergency, you want to make sure that there are boots on the ground, there are people there that are going to be able to minimize not only the damage to your property, but even to some people's lives. So I want to make sure and just remind everybody of the importance of the support for the Highlanders and appreciate everything that you guys do, and let you know that it is something that's not only much needed, but it will be much appreciated, especially if you ever find yourself being on the receiving end and you're in the middle of a catastrophe or an emergency.
I'm Warren Ashmore, Chief of Landrum Area Fire and Rescue District. I just want to spend a couple of minutes with you today and kind of talk about partnerships. At our department, partnerships are key to the service we provide. Having volunteers who are coming in and putting more boots on the ground are very important and impactful on our calls that we respond to. A good one in point was back in, it was 2016 or 2017, we had a tornado that hit up around the Lake Lanier area, and it took a lot of collaboration between different agencies and emergency response teams to come in and make sure we were checking for any injured residents who lived there around the lake, checking homes, checking for hazards that anybody could encounter during this time. A lot of cleanup that was involved, and that takes boots on ground. And with that, we try to partner with our different agencies to make sure that we provide the coverage that we need in a timely fashion, timely manner. So it's very important to have partnerships such as the Highlanders response team. Those are people who's willing to give their time to get out and help others. And in a world where you don't see as much volunteerism anymore, groups and agencies like this are very important to the task that we try to perform, which is taking care of an individual at their worst time. We're coming together to be able to assist and aid them in that process. So it is important, and like I said earlier, a key to our department is building those partnerships similar to what we're doing here now with the Highlanders.
Hello, I'm Gary with Tigerville Fire Department. We are a combination fire service here. We have a full-time staff primarily made up of volunteers, as well as other agencies around us to come out and help. Emergency management, sheriff's office, the Friends of the Highlanders are actually a great resource for us. We had probably 10 years ago a big microburst that came here into the Tigerville area. We border North Greenville University, and their admin building, their roof was blown off into another building right beside it. During that time, there was over 2,000 students on campus. We had to search multiple buildings, which meant we didn't have the staffing. We had to call in resources like Friends of the Highlanders to assist with us, and that partnership was amazing to make sure all those students were safe. And without those resources, we couldn't protect the community.
Hello, my name is Jeff Smith. I'm the Director of Campus Safety and Security here at North Greenville University. I recently retired after almost 30 years of serving at the Greer Police Department in Greer, South Carolina. And I think that it is extremely beneficial and important to build outside resources and partnerships. One of the biggest things that's helped me in my career, really from the beginning to where I am now, has been networking. When you network with other agencies, you form those partnerships, and when that time of need arises, you've got some external partnerships that you can reach out to. For some of the smaller departments, it's very beneficial financially because they may not have the resources such as a search and rescue team. I've actually had to assist with looking for lost children before through my years of service, and we've had to call on external partners with the sheriff's office, with the Red Cross. Don't remember the name, but there was a search and rescue team that came out of North Carolina that assisted with us. So it's really, really beneficial, especially financially for the smaller agencies that may be strapped, in their budgets.
Hello, this is Greenville County Sheriff Hobart Lewis. I'm here today to help my friends of the Highlanders and try to explain to you their involvement and how important it is for their support with law enforcement and first responders here in the upstate. We've had numerous calls for our search and rescue team with the sheriff's office, where we've been able to gather volunteers from this group that have added manpower and been able to relieve folks for different reasons. We have some searches that go on for days at a time. So unless you're out there to see the significance and the impact this has on this community, it's really hard to describe, to be quite honest. So we're asking for your help today. If you want to volunteer, we certainly would appreciate that, but also they need financial support. So we're asking if you know anybody that can help Friends of the Highlanders. It takes money to do these things, unfortunately, and they don't have a budget. So it takes community funds. So we live in a very special place here in the upstate of South Carolina. We're asking people to join together and support our Friends of the Highlanders, help them complete their mission and all the work that they do here in the upstate that's so vital to all of our first responders. So thank you so much for all you're doing. Thank you from the Sheriff's Office. I want to say thank you to Friends of the Highlanders for always being available and always being a friend of law enforcement.
Specialized training and equipment are just two of the many reasons why the Friends of the Highlanders Foundation needs your support in meeting their overall mission of saving lives, protecting property, and reducing the effects of disasters.
I just want to take a minute here to talk to how important it is to help get these Friends of the Highlanders resources. We here at Tigerville Fire Department struggle with purchasing stuff as much as inflation has been over the last few years. We have tried to find other avenues with grants, falling short and trying to get approved for some of those. So being a 501c3, if you're looking to help donate or can't get out there and help the community where your time doesn't allow, you're traveling, you don't think you can get out there during the disaster, you can actually give some money to these people to help them get the resources they need. Help the Friends of the Highlanders have the chainsaws, have the rope rescue equipment, have the GPS units to do the searches they need. And having all these resources would really help protect your community, the community that you live in during a disaster. So if you don't have the time, think of some of the monies that you might have that you're available to donate to this cause.
With many organizations out there, there's several different ways that you can promote them and also support them. Certainly one way is to pray for them, especially those that have boots on the ground that are out there working. You can certainly volunteer. And lastly, if you can't get out there and help yourself, we ask that you consider supporting them financially. And that can be done through the Friends of the Highlanders Foundation.
So if you're sitting there today and you're thinking, I really do love what the Highlanders are doing, and you want to know how you can support them, I think one thing that's really important for me to point out is that it is an all volunteer situation. So we obviously would love the prayers, but more than that, we do need financial support. They are a 501c, so if you own your business or if you're just an individual giving, that's wonderful. You can write this off on your taxes, but you do need to go to schhighlanders.org and you will be able to give online and you will be able to support them and all that they're doing for the community.
Now, what can you do to help in disaster recovery? If you're unable or don't have the time to get out and personally join the Highlanders or work for a fire department somewhere or some organization, you can give to support this. And we're recommending that you be a friend of the Highlanders, and you go to the website schhighlanders.org, and you can give some of your hard-earned cash and support disaster recovery without having to get your hands dirty or get hurt or anything. Just go to the website and donate, and the people who have a passion for this will take your money and turn it into a really good use to help citizens that need recovery in the middle of a disaster.
Hi, I'm Joanne Little, and I'm here to speak to you about my passion and belief in this very important cause and this organization, Friends of the Highlander. I immigrated to the U.S. in 2005, and I've been calling the upstate of South Carolina my home since 2018. Throughout the years, I've seen a lot of needs from my fellow South Carolinians, as a new American, as a South Carolinian, as your neighbor, I see a lot of volunteers have stepped up to help others when disaster strikes. I want to ask you and challenge you to come join us and support us so we can keep helping other people and we can work with emergency management and other disaster relief agencies. Thank you.